Hey, and we're back. So we're doing chapter 2 review, and we have the number 1/8 times 5/7. And so when we look at this number, all we have to do is fairly simple. We just multiply the numerators together, and 1 times 5 is going to give us 5. And then we multiply the denominators together, and 8 times 7 equals 56. And that is problem done. Okay, we're back. So we're going to do 3/5 times 1/2. And whenever we're multiplying by 1/2, it's the same as dividing it into 2. So we're going to take our 3/5 and we're going to take half of each of these. So when we do it across here, it will be 3 times 1 will give us 3, and 5 times 2 is going to give us 10. So when we take half of 1/5, it's actually equal to about 1/10. So now we can see that 3/5 times 1/2, or taking half of 3/5, is actually going to give us 3/10. Okay, so for problem number 3, we're going to take our 2/9 and we're going to multiply it by 3/4. And again, we can just look at the simple math and see it. We can see that 2 times 3 is going to give us 6, and 9 times 4 is going to give us 36. But when I look at that, that does not look simplified to me. When I look at this number, 6 can be divided by 6, and that will leave us with 1, and 36 divided by 6 is going to leave us with 6. I could have done it way over here and made it easier on myself, because 2 can be divided by 2, but it goes 1 time, and 4 can be divided by 2, and it goes into 2 times. 3 can be divided by 3, it goes in once, and 9 can be divided by 3, and it goes in 3 times. So our answer, again, would be 1 times 1 equals 1, or 3 times 2 equals 6. So here's our problem. We have 3/10 times, make sure that's a 10, times 4/5. Now, when we're looking at this, we have to remember we're not adding these numbers together, we're multiplying. We're taking 3/10 and we're multiplying it by 4/5, so the fraction is going to get smaller. So we take our 3 and we multiply it times 4. But again, let's see if we can simplify this a little bit first. Is there anything that we can make it smaller? Well, 2 goes into 2 2 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So now I have 3 times 2 is 6, and 5 times 5 is going to give us 25, or 6/25. Okay, so for problem 5, we have 2 2/3, and we're multiplying that 2 2/3 times 4/5. So whenever we see this fraction and we see 4/5, we know it's not a whole number. So we know that it's going to be less than the number that we're starting with, because they're not asking us to multiply it by 1 or something bigger than that. They're asking us to multiply by a fraction of that. So the first thing I have to do is, when I take my two numbers, is I have to look to see what shape they're in. And this number right here is not a fraction. It's a mixed number. So I have to turn it back into a fraction. So I have to take these whole pieces and turn them into thirds. So I'm going to take my 1 and I'm going to change it into thirds. And then I'm going to take my second number and I'm going to change that other whole number into thirds. So now I have 6, 7, 8 thirds. 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 2 is going to give me 8 thirds. I leave my 4/5 alone, and I always look to see if I can simplify first. When I look at the 4 and the 3, there's nothing that can go into both of those numbers, or in the 8 and the 3, or the 8 and the 5. There's nothing I can do. So now what I have to do is just multiply it out. And 8 times 4 is going to give me 32, and 3 times 5 is going to give me 15. So now I have to put this back into a mixed number. So when I look at 15, I can think of 15 goes into 30 twice. And then what's going to be left over is the 2/15, because 15, if I change that into 30, because I multiplied it twice, that 15, now it's going to give me 2 left over, and my bottom number down here was 15, so it's going to be 2/15 left. Okay, so for this fraction, we don't really have the fraction pieces to demonstrate. I'm going to do one more like this, and then I'm going to ask you do the rest of them on your own, because it should be pretty simple to do the next two. So you have 2/7 times 4 and 4/9. First thing we have to do is we have to look at our numbers and see if they're in the correct format. They're not. The 4/9 is not in the right format, so I'm going to rewrite the 2/7, and I'm going to multiply the 4 times the 9. The 4 times the 9 is going to give me 36, plus the 4 at the top is going to give me 40. So it's going to be 40 over 9, because we leave the denominator the same. So now I've got 40 times 2 is going to give me 80, and 9 times 7 is going to give me 63. Now, when I look at this, 63 will go into 80 one time. So I know I'm going to have one whole number, because remember, when we have a 4 and 4/9 and we're only multiplying by 2/7 of that, it's going to get smaller. So it's now from one whole number to only one. And then I subtract the rest of this. 10 take away 3 is going to give me 7. 7 take away 6 is going to give me 1. So now I have 17, and I leave my denominator alone, and it's 1/1763. Okay, good luck on the next two problems. You guys can do it. All right, so we have keep, change, flip. We have 1/9 divided by 2/5. And the very thing that we need to know is keep, change, flip, and my favorite is simplify. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to keep what we know first, which is our 1/9. That is our first number. That's the one we keep. We change our division to a multiplication, and we flip our fraction. We flip it from 2/5 to 5/2. There's nothing that will go into those numbers, so there's nothing that we can do to simplify it, so we just multiply it out. 5 times 1 is going to give me 5, and 9 times 2 is going to give me 18. Since I couldn't simplify over here, I can't simplify over there, and we are done. Okay, I'm going to give you number 10 as a practice on your own. Number 11, I'm going to do this one with you because it is a whole number. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do 5 wholes. Actually, you know what? Let me do it for you this way first. Oh, I'll finish writing it and then I'll do it the other way. 5 divided by 1/3. And again, we're going to keep, change, flip, and simplify. So our 5 becomes 5/1. And we're going to multiply it, and we're going to flip this to 3/1, and we're going to simplify it. We can't. So it's going to be 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 times 1 is 1. And if we're using it as a fraction, 15/1 is actually a whole number, which is 15. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what that would look like if we'd actually done the pieces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole pieces. Okay, we have 5 whole numbers, and we want to divide it into thirds. So now we want to take our thirds and we want to go 1, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we can now see that 5 wholes, when we divide it into equal parts of thirds, is actually going to give us 15 1/3. Okay, so we're back, and I'm going to let you do 12 on your own. You can do that, and I'm going to let you do 13 through 16 on your own because it's all the exact same skill. Keep, change, flip, simplify. Don't forget to move your mixed fractions into improper fractions. You're going to take the whole number and make it back into a fraction. So now we are going to work on number 17 because that is a word problem, and I think that's a good one to do. So we have a box that contains 10 whole cups. Okay. And if before I even do the math, I can just kind of picture this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can kind of picture what it would look like if I divided each of these into thirds. Now remember, this time I'm taking a whole number and I'm dividing it by a fraction. So this time that whole number is going to get bigger because I can get more out of it. So I'm going to take my 1/3 and each time, or excuse me, each time it's going to be 2/3. So each time I make a batch of pancakes, I have to use 2/3 of a cup. So if I look at these are all these 1 full cups. I'm going to just only take 2/3. So you can see already I'm going to have a whole lot more batter than I am cups. So every time I take this, I'm going to need 2/3. So I'm going to have a number that's going to be larger than 10 because you can see all these extra pieces that I didn't use. So, oops, right there, I have 10, okay? So I know my number is going to be bigger than 10 because that's 10 2/3. Now I have another 1/3 plus 1/3. That's going to give me another cup. And then I can do 1/3 plus 1/3. That's going to give me another cup. So that makes 12 cups. And then I can do another 1/3 and a 1/3. That gives me another cup or another 2/3 or another batch. And then I've got another batch coming up. Here's 1, here's 2. Okay, and then we have 1 left over. Here's 1, and here is the next one. So when I add these together, my little tally marks here, I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I can get 15 2/3 or 15 batches of 2/3 out of my 10 cups. So now let's take a look at that. The other way I could do it is I can actually do the math. But if you were thinking about this and you're like, oh, I just can't remember, how do I do this? How simple would it be to just take 10 of something and just divide it and color it in real quick? It would take you 2 seconds. Now we're going to clear this out and we're going to do it as the actual math problem. So now we have 10 over 1, and we're going to divide it by 2/3. And again, when we do a division problem, all we're doing is with decimals, we're going to do keep, change, flip, simplify. So we have our 10 over 1, which we keep. We change this to a multiplication problem, and we change this to 3 over 2. So when we do this, we want to simplify this, and we want to make our 2 into a 1 and our 10 into a 5, and we have 5 times 3, and it's going to give us 15. So we have 15 total batches that we can make out of that 10 cups. Okay, I'm back. So we're going to do our 18 through 21, and this is like the simplest thing ever. So let me change screens real quick. Okay, so I wanted to change screens because I want to make sure that you understand when you're working with decimals, you are working typically with a whole number and then you're working with something that's less than a whole number. So when we look at the number 3, we have 3.78. 3 is our whole number. The 0.78 or the 78 hundredths is our decimal part. And we're going to add that to 8.94. Now, the biggest thing with decimals is lining them up. And the best and easiest way to line them up is to make sure you make that decimal really big and they line up accordingly. Now, if there wasn't an 8 here and there was just a 7, you would just throw in a 0 right there in replace of it to make sure that you understand it. So now we have our 3. Our 3 is our whole number. Then we add our 8 to it, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that this number is going to be at least 11. Okay, but basically all you do is this just is basic subtraction. As long as you have lined up your decimal and you've made it nice and big so you can see it, The rest of it is addition, and there is absolutely nobody in here that can't do addition or subtraction with whole numbers. So you should not have any problems. So we